Hello again, everyone. It's Mia. Welcome to another episode of the Café podcasts for the Mia Narratives. And today we will be discussing the book Wuthering Heights. I've got a special treat for all of you because I won't be alone this time for this podcast because I will have a person to discuss the book with me or talk the book with about. And very interesting because he's a bloke whom when I said, hey, would you like to discuss a book with me called Wuthering Heights, being that it's British literature and he is British himself, would you come and discuss it with me? And, he's just a very happy-go-lucky type of person. I'm glad he agreed to come. And so, Danny, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Hello, my name is Danny and I'm from Hackney and that's in London. And I'm here to discuss the book called Wuthering Heights, alright?
Yes, Danny, we are going to go highbrow, I think. What do you think? So, when did you first heard about the book or read the book? I'm sure you have.
When did I first read the book? Let me see, I don't know. They told us to read it in school, so I said to myself, I'm going to read it, right? And I read it, and it was a memorable type of story because it was raw, right? And
yeah, to me it was very dark, it was bleak, all the bogs, all the glen, all the marshes and so on. And to be honest, I thought that it was a romantic book, just swash and buckle and swept away type of love story. That's what I thought of it. That's what I really wanted to happen, and I was waiting for it to happen. What was the expectations that you had of the book?
What I wanted generally was for the whole thing to end up happily, but unhappily it didn't, end up happily.
Well, in a manner of speaking, it did, I suppose, for the second generation. Let's just get on your impression about the whole book. Okay, tell me about it, Danny.
So, what was my impression about... Okay, that's your impression about the book, is it? Well, my impression about the book is that I think it was very dramatic. It went beyond melodrama. That's what I thought. And the thing of it is that it could have been all avoided if they just, spoke about their feelings, maybe. Catherine, if she did what she did, and Heathcliff, if he didn't put it inside of his self and took it all seriously, but I suppose that's what the book is all about, right?
What was telling to me is that I could not believe, for example, that Catherine, she willed herself practically to have a broken heart. To me, it's like she willed herself to die. How would you do that? Will yourself to die just because you've been forbidden to see this person? Things must have been really boring for things to have happened that way to people when they were heartbroken. So what about you? What do you think about Catherine? The unpredictable Catherine Earnshaw. Her traits. Tell me about her.
Catherine, yes. Catherine is bad news, alright? Catherine is one of these kind of women who thinks she knows she could figure out everything in life, but of course nothing can be further from the truth because she messed it all up, she mucked it all up. As far as I'm concerned, she was the cause of everything, I don't know. Because all she could have done really was just, go with Heathcliff from the beginning, but then maybe there wouldn't be any book and it wouldn't be as memorable as,
Okay, so why don't we have discussion about the Earnshaws? That family was very different. They were distinct. Catherine Earnshaw, Hindley Earnshaw. Hindley Earnshaw turned out to be a creep to me. He became really creepy. I think he was the initial creepy guy, and that creepiness kind of creeped, no pun intended, to the other character, particularly to Heathcliff. The Earnshaws. What a family, huh?
The Earnshaws. I think the Earnshaws are pieces of work, They're masterpieces in terms of screwing up everyone, They were hateful people, and very hateful, and I don't understand that, but I guess it happens, I guess it exists in the world. As far as the world is concerned, it is what it is. You've got people like the Earnshaws who has got everything handed to them in the silver plate, born with silver spoons in their mouths, and just don't got any care at all to the other people, especially to Heathcliff when Heathcliff was really young. I mean, Heathcliff did not deserve that kind of treatment. He was a kind boy from the beginning, but what can we do? There's Hindley, and he was very mean to the boy, and it's just an all messed up kind of thing, And I wish it wasn't so, but he was an alcoholic and all that, and depressed and manic depressive and something like that, bipolar, I think the whole family was nice, and it caused Heathcliff to be not a two. But Heathcliff, in my view, he just took it very far off, like he didn't, he just went too far with it, He's got a heartbreak that lasted for like, I don't know, half a century. Why would you do that? Why would you do that to yourself, I mean, just move on, That's what I know about it, but then, I'm a bloke and...
Well, from the outset I wasn't crazy about Mr. Hindley. He was detached, he was cold, and he did have his comeuppance when Heathcliff came back from where he ever was. We never found out how he got his money and so on and so forth. But that time when Heathcliff was trying to get back at him by getting him indebted with all the gambling that they were doing and so on. Of course, Heathcliff was trying to trick and Mr. Hindley, but you know what? I guess a tit for tat for that book anyway. But what about the neighbors? The very nice, well-natured, educated, urbane, genteel type neighbors. What do you think about the Lintons? I love the Lintons. I felt so bad for them. Wrong place at the wrong time is what I say about those people. And to think at first, I did not for one really like Edgar because, we vote for Heathcliff. We're like, oh, we're rooting for you, Heathcliff. But what a twist.
Well, the Lintons, what do I think of them, the Lintons? I think that the Lintons were the real victims of this already mucked up world, already set up. They've been set up to go, what's her name, Isabel. A beautiful girl, but look at what happened. She fell in love with Heathcliff. It's the wrong man at the wrong time. But any time to fall in love with Heathcliff is just wrong, innit? I don't know. The poor girl just... There you are. It's the doctor right there. That's not a part of it, but I suppose it is new. Well, the Lintons, right? Isabel. I felt so bad for her because she was just a well-meaning girl, a well-meaning girl, but what happened, he was toyed with, he was played with. That's mean. I think it's very mean-spirited for, what is his name? Heathcliff, yes, that's right. And Edgar was a very nice man, a very genial bloke, is what you say. You get somebody like that every now and then in the pub, just the kind of guy that will maybe buy you a pint, or something like that, and won't even think about it and says hi to you all the time and thinks about your well-being, But what happened to him? Also died of broken heart, is what it is. At the very least he had some choice, and he looks like he was a man that relished everything, like the daughter, the second Catherine, and he loved sincerely, and I think that he's really the hero in this book. It's in my point of view because he was the least crazy, he was the least nutter.
Yes, it looked like Edgar was the only one that had some kind of a sense of reason, the most reasonable of them all characters there. Aside from Nellie, of course. Danny, let's go to the most pivotal character of them all. Let's go to Heathcliff. Let's discuss him and dissect him, if you will. You tell me give me your take on him and I'll give you mine. What a character, indeed. A thing to play for actors. He's been played by many actors like Olivier, Ray Fiennes, and Olivier, to be honest. Honestly, those are the only two people that I know who's played him.
Heathcliff. Heathcliff. What do I think of Heathcliff? I think the man needed to be medicated or something. I don't know. Maybe he should have been given some kind of antidepressants or some kind of lithium or something, because the man just revenged like it was, revenge was like his breakfast, lunch and dinner, and it caused him to indirectly kill the first Catherine, innit? And then and then Isabel, the wife, indirectly too, for tormenting her, and the son, the poor son, what did he ever do? He didn't do nothing. He was just an innocent little boy, and what can you say? He was a tyrant, a complete certified nutter. Is what I call him. I don't see him as a hero, not at all. I mean, sure, at the very beginning he was like people mean to him, right? But you got to stop that at one point. You know what I mean? It's like the cruelty has to stop with you. If you want the world to go on, I mean that's just how I look at life. I mean, growing up in Hackney, it's a tough world, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Eventually you find somebody you love, or you get a child, you get to have little babies, and when you do get to have them babies, your perspective changes, and it's supposed to. It's supposed to, because it's life,
Well, as a woman, I understand the romantic element of Heathcliff, and I would say that I was empathetic with him first. Well, can you imagine? You only live or connect your life to a certain woman, to your love, which happens a lot of the times in the world, right? And Heathcliff didn't know much, neither did he have much possessions. But the friendship that he had with Catherine, that bond that they had together, that was something special. It was probably all for him. That was it for him. He didn't have any treasures, he didn't have a name, certainly. He was just found by the senior Earnshaw. So to me, when Catherine said what she said to Nellie about not marrying Heathcliff, and for that reason, about the wealth, because he was poor and he didn't have any social standing, and during that time, they really thought about that. It was just normal for them to marry well, or to have a desire to marry well, so as to keep their estates. But poor Heathcliff, of course, he had nothing to show. And since Catherine was his only life, his only pedestal, his only pillar, when Catherine decided to go against him, not to pick him as her mate, then he just, I guess, went crazy. And that became a catalyst for him. Revenge would be the only thing to think, or to get back at the people who were rich was the only thing he could think about, or to get Catherine back at whatever cost. He was going to do what he was going to do to get the tools that he needed to get her back. In that sense, I do empathize with him. I have it that, I get it. You're in love. You got unrequited, I mean, because of what you are, because of what you don't have. And so this is your driving force, the driving force of your life, which happened to Heathcliff. To some people, that kind of desperation is such a good story to tell. It's something to cling to, because it's drama. It's very intense, and people like that better have distress and pain than boring, right? However, though, he did go overboard, partially with Linton, especially with the son. I could not fathom that. That one did it for me. He became a monster at that particular moment, when he not only abandoned the son, but really neglected the son. I mean, my thing is, why pick the son up from Edgar, knowing that Edgar was going to be the one that would take care of the son? It's your flesh and blood, for heaven's sakes. To me, he just became a hollow man. He just became empty in that sense, and I could not sympathize or empathize with him. And I know what you mean. I come to your camp around that time, when it came to Heathcliff, during that moments with Linton especially. Now let's come to the boy Hareton. Hareton was good news in the end, and I liked it, together with the second Catherine. There is redemption after all. So what's your take on Hareton, Danny?
And Hareton. Oh, I like Hareton. Hareton was a fine young boy, and I'm very happy that, ended up being like a second Heathcliff, the hero, and got the beautiful girl, got the house too, and got it all. And on all, I like the boy. I maybe most identify with the boy, except that the Hareton, the bloke, fell in love and he was going to be gentry, and I don't suppose I'll ever be gentry, but...
Well, sure, you could.
It doesn't matter. Oh, life is life, and I'm still happy.
Yeah, let's go back to Heathcliff because it's interesting. At the height of his tyranny, I wonder if one can say that that's really possible for a man to be crazy.
I'm just going to say, hey, Gov, would you like a cup of tea? And, I don't know, spike it with some belladonna or something. And I hear that this thing that grows with the crocuses in, some in England, and they say, I forgot the name of it. But if you do put it in anything, it's tasteless, it's not bitter or anything, and put in a cup of tea, and then the person who takes it in, ingests it, becomes paralysed for something. I would expect it like that for him, Heathcliff, when he was very cruel to everyone. And for what? Because of his broken heart from like 50 years ago or something. And he couldn't move on. He just couldn't move on. It's a story of a man who couldn't move on. The narrator, Ellen, she's my kind of girl. The one who knows everything, the one who gets to outlive everyone, to witness everything.
Yeah, it was almost like this woman was the one that gets to witness and reproach and nurture everyone, love Catherine, nurture Catherine, admonish Catherine for being such a brat, endure abuse. And like any traditional help, she gets to gossip to the house guest. So any final thoughts, Danny? Anything you want to say at the remainder of the show? Any stone that we didn't turn up?
It's a great book. You got to give it to that credit. The writer is a chick, right? One of the Brontë sisters, right? And reading it now, reading it again and remembering it and getting another perspective now that I'm older. I've got a daughter, and I'm gonna tell her to read it because it's in terms of literature and all, right? And
it would be very sweet if she read it too, and maybe the both of you can discuss it. Now, would you recommend it to anyone other than your daughter?
Do I recommend the book? Yeah. Well, yeah. If you've got nothing better to do, sure, read it. Maybe you'll be better for it.
Well, it is very highly acclaimed. For centuries now it has existed and been dissected like we did today. I myself am glad I finally read it.
I guess.
Right. Well, so this is about the time we have left. Danny, thanks for being here, mate. Thanks.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you very much, Mia, for inviting me here. It's good that you read, and I myself am going to read too.
Well, that's about it. Just about the time when we really have to close it down and wind it down. Thank you, Dan.
Well, all right then. Thank you very much.
And as for the audience, thank you very much for joining us in this Mia Narratives, the Café podcast, episode 2, number 2 it is. And I hope that you like this one. Please share, click like, and subscribe. Okay. Until next time. Bye-bye.